Today is the 19th, I believe, of July. Whew, already. It's Saturday, it's 9:10 in the morning, and I'm walking Tuco. Flo has gone to do some yoga by the lake, but it's very cloudy and I felt some drops of rain, so it's nice today. The temperature has dropped a good 10 degrees from like 38 degrees yesterday. So it's been a tough week. This time last week, Flo was away, I was off. Since then, we had kind of an episode, I suppose. Last Tuesday was the day I finally finished with Manoska and the course. For good, perhaps, although maybe there'll be another one, I don't know. But it was nice. We were supposed to wait for a French Travail guy to turn up, and he never turned up. So I arrived. I actually had to walk Tuco because Flo was away, and I thought I'd be late, but I ended up arriving at about 10 to 8 in the morning. Don't ask me how. There wasn't much traffic and stuff, and goodbye, Tuco. Goodbye. Oh, you needed to get out, huh? So I arrived earlier than I had ever arrived, and then it was so like a normal day almost. You know, everybody like Nezram came with Grazia, the teacher, and we went into our normal room, and everybody was there. They all arrived at around 8:30, 9, and we started talking about our stagiaries, and the guy never turned up, and so it was just our group, and then we gave Grazia her present, and then we ate. The girls brought some food, and I really wanted to get away, I have to say. So I made an effort to just sit and be polite and spend literally 5 minutes eating something, and then I said I have to go. Because I did have the dog and the cats and everything on their own. But then Flo came back Tuesday at around 5, I guess, which I thought she was back Wednesday, but she came back in. It was funny, she caught me off guard again. It's kind of one of her traits. Came at me from left field, as they'd say in America. Sorry about that. I just got drenched. There's a maize field beside us, and they're spraying everything, and it's got completely hit with the water. I'm not worried about me, but this little device. I don't think these devices like water. So yeah, Flo just said to me, I have to tell you something. It's been on my mind, and I was thinking I should keep it to myself, but now I don't want to, because my yoga says you should. As soon as Flo says I have to tell you something, you know it's not going to be good. It's not going to be, I have to tell you something. I just want you to know how proud I am that you did this or that. I have to tell you something. I just want you to know that I'm so happy that we're still together. It's never going to be that. I should take a pause here because we're going by the generator, and I don't want to scream over it. Yeah, so the something to tell me was how disappointed she was in the fact that I walked out on the Thursday during the internship, and she said she'd just been feeling proud of me for doing all that stuff on myself, and then I spoiled it all by just impulsively quitting. And she said it reminded her of all the times I'd quit in in the Connemara when I'd stormed out because of I couldn't handle the Tuco. I couldn't handle something, and I remember some of that happened when I was drinking, and then a few other times. It's true and stuff, but it really kind of got to me at that moment. I didn't really know what to say, because it was literally just a few hours after I'd finished everything. And I suppose I was hoping for her to say, well, that's you've done okay. So I didn't say anything. I just left, went for a nice walk into Orizon, even though it was quite late. I think it was 6:30. And then in Orizon I went to the PMU, to the usual place I go to, and I had a Coca-Cola, and as I was sitting there, I kind of had a nice moment. I'm just checking, we're at our little water spot here, and I'm just looking down the river to see that there isn't any dogs. It doesn't seem to be. Allez, Tuco, où est le poisson? Look, Tuco, allez, où est le poisson? Yeah, I was sitting down, and I said to myself, because I was feeling all my guts were all kind of knotted up, and I thought, well, if you accept the feeling and don't try and change it, something like that, and don't put the thoughts to it, it's very hard to explain these moments. It's moments when it's like a moment when you feel like you're having the effect of you've just drank about 3 beers, and things start to kind of calm down inside you, and you start to feel a sense of courage or something, and you feel better. Just pause again, see if I can get Tuco to go in the water. Right, we've moved on. Tuco doesn't seem to want to get into water. It looks like it could rain. There may have been someone coming with the dog. Okay. So yeah, I had a kind of relaxing moment, and I just thought you just need to agree with flow in these future things, and if you get that feeling, just accept it. You can. It's like my old writings came back to me. It's not so bad. You can deal with it. Acceptance will be our thing, blah, blah, blah. But then the next day we had a big conversation about the whole thing, because Flo brought it up again. She wanted to talk about it, and that was really, really rough for me. Trying to discuss how insecure I am about certain things, how unwelcome I feel in the house, how Flo doesn't, I just said, I don't think you understand the effect it has on me when you say stuff like, well, if you're not going to do this or that, you have to go back to Ireland. Or when she says, which she does kind of a lot of the time, she says, well, it's not, you have to have a job, so it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. If you have to do it, you have to do it. And I'm kind of using the example. So you kind of insist that I should carry on working for Carrefour, even if my knees can't handle it. And my philosophy or my things, well, it would be hers as well, I think. I'm not going to do just any job for money. We either make out some other way, which means she has to bring in the money and I keep looking for something else, or I try and get some money from the government somehow through various means. But I know it's true that she does a lot of this searching for forms and stuff, and it's that we had this just big conversation about all this, even about the marriage, and I went through, we promised that we'd be there for each other and all these things, not just in the good times but in the bad, and I was trying to justify myself by saying, you know, I'm trying everything. I've been active since February. I don't mind working in some crappy job. I don't even mind earning the SMIG, but I have to feel somewhat comfortable in it. I don't want to be in a state of stress every day. And I mentioned then, you know, if I had a good job, money, I could maybe move out, and then you'd be happy. You'd have the place to yourself. And I was surprised, if I believe her, I was surprised that she didn't like that idea. And she even said, "Oh, as soon as you get some money, that's what you're going to do, isn't it?" And I said, "I thought that's what you'd want." And she said, "No, I wouldn't go through all the bother with the handicap forms and the CAF and all this stuff if I didn't want us to be together." That surprised me, I have to say. Because I often think, or I've often thought, that she wouldn't put up much of a resistance if I had some money and said I'm going to leave somewhere else in Horizon. You think she'd be like, "Well, I have the place to myself. I can do, I won't have him around." So we discussed a lot of things, and I tried to be as honest as I could about how I felt. And this conversation went, I'm going to have to pause just again. You won't know I paused. There'll be no break. Yeah, at one point I was even like, I said, you know, we're talking and talking, but we don't seem to be finding any resolution. I don't feel any better. And I was saying it's a shame because we've always been able to talk things through and get to a position where we both feel better. And I thought for a while it wasn't going to happen, because she'll keep saying things that, from my point of view, come across like she doesn't understand what I'm saying. You know, she'll talk about, "Oh well, yoga is you're not the mind, you're not the body. You need to not be trapped in this kind of thinking, blah blah." And then I'll say something like, "Well, I'm going to do my best, but I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not important to me." And then she'll say, "Oh, I don't want to be the one, the safety net." It seems like a kind of contradiction. But eventually we did get to some kind of a nice position within the conversation. Because I was surprised that she kind of came across like, well, that she wanted me to be around, you know. And that, kind of like before, as long as I was looking for something, she was happy with that. But I was kind of saying to her, it is like the middle of July. I don't want to be stressing every morning looking for courses and jobs in the middle of the summer. I want to leave it for a bit. But there was some resolution at the end. I don't exactly know how, but she was talking about what I need to do inside in her inner engineering course, and I said to her, "Flo, I know most of that stuff. I was writing that stuff down before I met you." And then she says, "I know you wrote down, but you've never put it into practice." And she says, "When I met you, that was one of the things I liked about you. You were very advanced, it seemed, spiritually, and I was learning a lot from you. And now it's not like that. You're stuck in a loop. You're not learning anything, blah, blah, blah." It was something. And since then, because I guess that was last Wednesday, today is Saturday. Since then I've been trying to, I'm still going to do it, I'm going to book a rendezvous in French Travail, and that's really pretty much all I can do, and I can have a look at maybe the teaching sites for teaching English online again. But after that, there's so much stuff, it's just out of the question now for me. I don't want to work anymore in supermarkets. I don't want to clean dishes. I can't do a job where I'm driving at night. I can't do many courses because I only have A2 level French. It's so limited. I think the thing for me to kind of remember about the thing is that, and I kind of said this, I'm not sure I should have, but I said sometimes women say things in the heat of the moment, but they don't really mean them. That's a simple kind of thing to say, but it's a very important thing, because if that's true, and if Flo kind of agreed with that, she didn't really, then you could just go. Hang on a minute. Then you could just allow the person to say whatever they want. And even in some argument, they say, well, you have to work at this crappy job. Or, well, then you should talk to Martina about going back, or tell this Martina to send you money, or whatever it is. You just need to ignore it, because you know it's nothing. It's not going anywhere. It's just kind of anger, you know. It's not really meant. I think maybe my problem is taking everything literally. I'll let you go. Not that way, this way. So that whatever she says, I think she means it. When actually, allez, Suko, come on. A lot of it is just spoken words in anger, you know, to try and get at me. So there's a certain peace at the moment, but there's also a fair amount of stress for me, because I get up quite early now, and depending on, I'll tell you what happened yesterday, which was real progress for me, and I have to make a note of that as well. I went to the shop. Flo said we need to do some shopping, and I made a list, and I did ask her a few times if she wanted anything in the shop. Did she want me to write down anything, put it on the list? And she just had one or two things, and that was all. And then I went and I did the shopping, and it was €87, and I bought 2 things of Tic Tac, and then I bought lots of drinks and crisps and peanuts, but I didn't buy any food, and I didn't buy any salad because I never thought of it. It wasn't on the list. So she kind of lost her mind when I came home. She said, hey, where's the food? Where's the food? Where's the dinner? I can't have spent 80. And then I knew when she saw the list. This sounds so trivial. It's comical. But she saw the Tic Tacs, and she was like, no, you know how much they are? No, that's it. From now on, I can't get them. Not on our account. I think I was buying cocaine. You think I was kind of buying quantities of heroin, you know? No, not on our account. Get them. And what I did was, I did say things like, well, you know, Flo, I told you whatever you wanted, just tell me and put it on the list and I'll get it, and you didn't. And then of course she says, well, you should have known. And again, that's a very kind of woman thing. You should know that I wanted salad. In other words, I should have known. Allez. Good boy. I should have known what was in her head, you know. But I didn't get, I didn't lose my mind over this. I just agreed with her on some of it. I said, yeah, you're right, yeah, we can't, yeah, I got too much drinks, yeah. I didn't agree with everything, because honestly, to say I should have known to get salad and cucumbers and everything when she didn't ask me. But I did agree with a lot of the other stuff. And she went on and on about it. But I was listening to my laptop, and so I really didn't just. I thought it's almost like someone fishing, and you're the fish. And the thing to do is to just not let yourself get hooked into the conversation. That's not always possible. We're back home. Hello, Luna. Oh, all the little kittens are out. I know, I'm going to give you some food in a minute. I'll give you something in a minute. Cat never stops, just eats, sleeps. So that eventually, after maybe half an hour or more, Flo going on and on about this, me just agreeing, not saying anything. Then she stopped and she kind of joked about it. She said, "Oh, it's not just you. I guess men are like that." And it just blew over. And I thought that's kind of the key. It's just don't interact. And if you get angry, absorb the feeling. Don't think by retaliating. This isn't always possible, of course, but it worked on that instance, and everything was okay afterward. And I just thought, well, next time, if Flo wants you to do some shopping as well, of course you can say, no, you better go, because remember the last time it was a disaster. I'm looking at her painting. She's doing a big painting, green. She's just done the green outlay part, and it's really, really amazing how geometrical it looks. Even though she hasn't measured anything, it all looks really good. Yellow and green. She hasn't done the big circle inside, she's just done the square part, which actually is the same as the one that we have in front of me here, yellow and green. Anyway, I've got to give Tuco something. So I just wanted to bring us up to date with all of that stuff, because it was quite an important week. Thanks for listening.